Hello everybody, this is Alex from Swoosh English. Thank you very much for being part of today's IELTS class on Facebook Live along with Tanya Friedman from Kinetics. I'm just going to bring Tanya into the session right now. Tanya, are you there?
I am here.
Hello Tanya, can you turn on your video as well please? So we can see you as well.
Oh, I thought I'd had. Hold on. Oh, gosh.
It's okay. Let me just see if I can turn on your.
Okay, I think okay.
For you. We can all hear you, but we can't see you. And I'm not able to turn your video on for some reason.
It says the host. I cannot start my video because the host has disabled it.
Oh, strange. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, I'm not able to turn on your video. Now I can see you. Now I can see you.
Hi, Alex.
Okay, good. Nice to see you. Okay, so let's see. Great. So it's 7 a.m. San Diego time. I'm in the UK, 3 p.m. Let us know where you are all from in the world. All of you amazing nurses who are in the class today. I'm going to be looking at Facebook Live. But Tanya, if you want to let everyone know about Kinetics and how you can help the nurses who are watching right now to register and get their dream job in the US.
Well, this is a very good time for us in the US at the moment, because this week the visa bulletin came out. Last month we had a slight retrogression, which I did explain to everybody was really a temporary retrogression, basically because it was the end of the financial year. But this week we had some very good news, and the visa bulletin came out, and that slight retrogression is over, and things are progressing very nicely. So if there's anybody listening who is interested, has been wanting to come to the US for many years, that now is the perfect time. The visa bulletin is looking in good shape. I have been in recruitment for many, many years. Just to give everybody a quick background before we get started on the questions, for those of you who haven't watched before. So I am the Chief Operating Officer of Kinetics. We have been in recruitment of international nurses for many, many years. We work with hospitals, acute care, long-term care, surgery centers, correctionals, all over the US, in all 50 states. I'd spend my time traveling around the US, and every day we are speaking to chief nursing officers, CEOs who are looking for nurses. The visa bulletin's looking good. The chief nursing officers are looking for you. So now's the time to pass your IELTS and come to the US. I think, Alex, I have a lot of questions for you. So let's maybe get started.
Absolutely, Tanya. So that's great news regarding all of the hospitals looking for nurses from all around the world, whether you're in the Philippines, whether you're in the Middle East, whether you're in, I don't know, any part of the world, basically, of nurses who want to go to America. So yeah, that's great news. So before we get started, Tanya, I just want to welcome some of the students who are in today's Facebook Live. We've got Wilma from Kuwait, who's on evening duty and still watching. Good to see you, Wilma. Villanueva. Say that again?
I said multitasking, Wilma.
Multitasking, absolutely, Wilma. We've got Joy, Nortub, Edison, Gilda. I have shared the IELTS live class video. That's great. And yes, you will get our free IELTS welcome pack when you share today's Facebook Live video. So all you need to do, step one, is share the video to your Facebook page so that your friends, family, colleagues who are also preparing for IELTS and who also want to go to America with you, they'll be able to see today's class. So once you do that step one, then step two, right underneath this video, I have shared the IELTS live class video, and you'll get your free welcome pack that's got lots of IELTS video lessons, lots of tips, ebooks, resources to help you on your journey. So before we've got so many other people who are sharing it as well. Lynn Rena's shared it. Thank you very much, Lynn. Eve, Mayam, Villanueva, Ian, Martinez. Great to see so many people. Got John from Manila, Jehan, who's in Abu Dhabi, Fantastic. So yeah, Tanya, I know you've got lots of questions for me.
Good. Yeah. And I must just say, Alex, that it's so heartwarming to see the reception of this IELTS support group, because for many years we've looked for a partner like Swoosh, who has the expertise to help nurses and has the passion to help, because this is a free IELTS support group. And it's so heartwarming. For those of you who are just joining in, please make sure that you have joined the WhatsApp group, and also that you liaise with Jocelyn from the Kinetics team, because she will set you up with a study partner. If anybody doesn't have a study partner yet, please make sure to liaise with Jocelyn, and she will allocate you a person that's going to be a good fit for you. It was actually quite interesting. I was looking at the WhatsApp group last night, and it was just such a good feeling to see how many people are helping, how everybody's helping each other, people asking questions, sharing their NCLEX results, and just, great activity. So thank you everybody for your participation. This group is growing in leaps and bounds, and we encourage you, as Alex said, to share so that we can pay it forward for everybody else who wants to come to the US.
Absolutely.
So here are the questions. So the first question is, how often should you practice with a study partner?
In my opinion, so as we talked about last week, and if I should say, if you've not watched the Facebook Live class last week, you should be on the Kinetics page now. So just go back 7 days and you'll be able to see that live class video about the importance of study partners, etc. But I'm going to continue it because it's such an important topic. So with regards to Tanya's question, if I wanted to pass quickly, effectively, and in the least amount of exam attempts possible, which basically means first time, our ex-IELTS examiners are able to help students pass first time. And even if you have taken your exam and you've not passed, then we want to get you to pass on your next attempt. If you want to do all of that, like I said, pass quickly, pass effectively in the least amount of exam attempts, you should be practicing every day. Okay, give yourself 1 day off in the week, so 6 days a week. But we have some students who pass very, very quickly and who do all 7 days. If you have that kind of practice with a support partner, with a study partner, then you are going to get incredible results. So the consistency is what will get you to your band 7 in speaking and 6.5 overall. So you should be getting on Skype or Zoom, okay, or Zoom, which is zoom.us. That's the website name. It's a completely free app. You can download. You can record the video after the live session is completed. So you will be able to send your study partner the Zoom class link on Facebook chat or WhatsApp Messenger if you're using that as well, and send it to them, and then you're able to connect with each other. So every day is vital. Even if you've got only 20 minutes available where you can practice a part 1, part 2, part 3 of the speaking exam, or if you want to speak to each other, support each other on the reading or the listening or the writing as well, every single day is really ideally what you should be doing. And it's also difficult to find the right kind of study partner because, as we all know, unfortunately, people have busy lives, or even people make excuses as to why they can't do every day. So you might have a study partner who is not as committed as you are, and you might come back to us, Joy or Jocelyn or myself or Tanya might say, I want to do every day, but my study partner is not able to do every day. Maybe they're for whatever reason they can't do it, or they say, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do it. You want to find people who are willing to be as committed and motivated as you, and those people are the ones you'll be practicing with it day in, day out, every single day. And I can tell you, if you do that, then your improvement in your performance will go through the roof.
So it's practice.
It's practice, yes. But as I said before, study partner is only one aspect of it, but it is vitally important. So the fact that Kinetics, Joy, Jocelyn, Tanya, and all the team are able to give you the access to a WhatsApp group, then allows you to gain access to a study partner. I mean, they don't need to just join the WhatsApp group to get the study partner. They can do it in the Facebook group as well. But it's such a valuable resource for you. Invaluable. in order for you to pass.
So would you say then, Alex, that it's a good idea, once you've been allocated a study partner, to set up a time to speak to them and kind of set out the parameters and say, okay, if we're going to be working together, this is what we should expect from each other. This is what we're going to commit to, and then hold each other accountable.
Absolutely. Yeah, great point there, Tanya. At the beginning of any relationship, whether it's a student-teacher relationship, whether it's a study partner relationship, any relationship, and even when you join a hospital in the US after passing this exam with Swoosh and Kinetics, you'll have a contract. You'll have a contract between the hospital and with yourself, and it's the same thing with a study partner. Of course, you don't need to make it as formal and serious as having a contract, so to speak, but just a few points that are really important to you and a few points that are really important to your study partner. For example, I want to emphasize how important punctuality is. It's important for us to meet at the agreed days and times each week, and make sure, because maybe I've only got a 30-minute gap in between my shifts, or I'm doing this slot with you during my lunch hour. Okay, so that's another one actually, while I'm on the topic, is during your lunch hour is one of the best times. If you've not got much time available during your day and you're working so many hours, your lunch hour is when you can multitask. One hand is for fork, one hand is for phone. Okay, fork and phone. Remember the real and the fake F. The fake F is the phone, and the real F is the fork. Because so many of our OET students and IELTS students as well in the past have done both at the same time. They've been speaking to their study partner, or they've been involved in a lesson with one of our ex-IELTS examiners, and in the other hand, they've got their fork for eating. You can absolutely do that. So, a lot of people are playing around on WhatsApp or on Facebook anyway, or on YouTube whilst they're eating their lunch. So you may as well do that. And with regards to the rules, like I said, you don't need to make them too stringent, too strict, but just a few points that are really important to you. So you have to think, what is important to you? Is it important for you to have 30 minutes with your study partner per day? Is it vitally important that you have your sessions in the morning with a study partner, or is it in the evenings? I know a lot of you watching right now are in the Middle East, and you have days off. If you're in Saudi Arabia, you'll have days off Thursday and Friday. If you're in the UAE, it'll be Friday and Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. You can let me know in the chat box. Think about what is important to you. Okay, so the rules at the beginning are absolutely important, and also emphasize state to your partner and vice versa, when are your exams? Because if, for example, now we are in September, if your study partner is going to have their exam in December, but yours is in October, maybe they might only start really working hard in November and December, but you need to work hard now. So maybe that study partner is not the right one for you. Can you match up in terms of your levels? Are you both at a 6 overall in speaking, writing, reading, and listening, and you need to get a 6.5 overall? Or are you at different levels? Because if you're at different levels, then that might not be the best, the best partner for you. However, another consideration for you is, if, for example, someone is strong in speaking and you're weak in speaking, but you're strong in writing, but they're weak in writing, then you can kind of be each other's kind of unofficial mini teachers. You can help them with their writing, and in return, they can help you with your speaking. So you've got different strengths and weaknesses in different areas, and that could be a great study partner for you as well. The other thing is, you want to match up in terms of personality. Some female nurses might only want to have a female study partner, or male, or male and female, whichever works best for you. So there's lots of different considerations.
Wow, Alex, you've given us a lot to think about. So
a lot. It's the same with any kind of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship. A lot of people do, online dating, things like that. There's so many different criteria that people follow in order to get their perfect match. And this is kind of a perfect study partner match too. And the other thing, I've got so many things to say. The other thing is, You might be greedy. You might be a greedy person like Tanya and myself. You might want more than one study partner. You might want 2 or 3 study partners. One is for Mondays, one's for Wednesdays, and one's for Saturdays. I don't know. So there's so many things to consider. I even surprised myself on how long that answer was.
Well, there was a good answer with a lot of good information. So thank you for that. So everybody, if you feel though, I think the key word there is match. If you feel like the person is a good match, then really just you need to go for it. You need to commit to it, go for it, and be accountable. If you have given it a try and you feel that for whatever reason the person that's been allocated to you is not a good match, then just let us know. It's really not a big deal. We can allocate you with somebody else, and match, as I said, is the key word. In fact, that's why Kinetics is known as career matchmakers, because that's what we do, is find the right fit, whether it's the right job for you or whether it's the right study partner. Okay, so next question, Alex. How should you use the study partner for the other areas in IELTS, like the writing, the reading, and the listening? Because obviously we've spent quite a bit of time on the speaking part. And for those of you who are just joining in, please make sure to go back on previous Facebook Live sessions and see the free IELTS class that we did with Fiona, who is an ex-IELTS examiner, which is on the Kinetics Facebook page. But how would it work with the other areas in the IELTS?
Good question, Tanya. So yeah, we've covered speaking a lot in these sessions, but with regards to the next most difficult area, in my opinion, is the writing. So let's begin with writing first. We have got a fantastic Kinetics community. I don't know if Joy and Jocelyn or any of the other members of the Kinetics team are watching now, but if you can put the link to the Facebook group for, I'm guessing a lot of nurses want to join our free Facebook group community. So if we can post that link inside the chat box, when you get accepted into the group, you are able to post your writing inside the group, and that's where the power of the community takes over. So with regards to writing, your study partner will be able to look at your writing, give you feedback on it, tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, suggestions on how to improve. Of course, it's difficult for other students to give other students marks, whether they think it's a 6 or a 7, etc. That's best place for a teacher, really. But if you notice a grammatical mistake that a student has made in their writing, then absolutely point it out. If they, for example, I don't know, if they said something like, it could be an IELTS writing task 2 answer, and they used a double past tense, and you can point that out and say to them, okay, it should be this instead of this. That might be an area where you can help your study partner. And the other thing is, even if this person is not your study partner, I believe that the more you help other people, and this is not just for IELTS, this is in general, the more you help other people, the more help you get back in return. So that's the law of the universe. That's the law of attraction, as they call it. You get back what you put in. So Tanya and the Kinetics team are helping thousands of nurses to work in the US every single year from all around the world. Do you think Tanya and her team get that back? Of course they do. So it's the same with us. The more students that we're helping to pass, the more that we get back. So the way this relates to writing is the more help and support on grammatical errors, vocabulary errors, structure errors, the way that they're addressing different kinds of task 2 questions, all of these things, when you're giving feedback to someone else, you'll get that back in return tenfold. And you notice that the people who help people the most, when those people put their writing in the group, you see all these people say, oh, well, this person, Rachel, or this person, David, etc., they've helped so many people and they've helped me as well. I want to give some help back to those people. And that's the beauty of nurses. Nurses do the job that they do mainly because they have a good heart. They want to care and look after people, and it's no different to everyone watching right now. So and I always ask nurses this question, actually, Tanya, it's quite a good point to talk about, is why did you become a nurse? And they always say, well, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, or whether it's different for you, but when I was a child, maybe a family member was sick and I just was helpless. I didn't know how to help these people, my mother, my father, my cousin, my uncle, whatever. And so I was motivated there and then that I wanted to become a nurse, and I wanted to help vulnerable or helpless people in this situation. So please don't just see your patients as someone that you need to help. See your fellow students, see other nurses who are motivated and dream of coming to the US like you. See them as people that you need to help too, and you will. I can guarantee, and I've seen it. I'm not just guaranteeing this. I've seen it with my own eyes after working with nurses for so many years now, that those people who help other people get it back tenfold. So yes, post your writing inside the Facebook group, and also give help to other people as well, and you'll see your writing absolutely improve. With regards to the reading and listening segments, again, similar kind of thing with the study partner. You can go through the reading text together. You can answer the questions together. Perhaps you can answer the first question, and your study partner might not give their answer so that they don't influence you. And you can go through and alternate it. So you do question one, and then they can also analyze and tell you what they think the answer was for question one, why they thought this was the correct answer as opposed to that. And then you can switch it each time. Or you can work through each question together by going through the text and say to yourself, okay, from the information here, is this the correct answer? Oh, right, okay, why is this not the correct answer? Oh, because it's this. Okay, so working through together is much more motivating than doing it by yourself. A lot of nurses make this mistake of just going through the preparations all by themselves. The IELTS is a challenge, okay? And Tanya knows this from all the nurses who've tried and failed, or tried and been successful in the past. Some nurses, it's taken them 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts. I mentioned a few weeks ago a medical professional from Japan that we helped about a year and a half ago. He took the exam 18 times, okay, because he was doing it by himself. I think Tanya mentioned someone who did it 10 times.
I had one nurse who did it 9 times.
9 times. And she just did it by herself. So if you have the strength of a community to look after you, if you have the strength of a study partner, it can really, really improve your performance. And similar kinds of thing to listening. With the Zoom features, you can share, you can, for example, play the audio recording, the listening audio recording on your side, and then you can click share audio settings. And I think you can do the same on Skype as well. You can share the settings on the audio so that both sides can listen to the recording. So if I shared the settings with Tanya, we can both hear the recordings, and then we can both do the listening exam together. Isn't that great? You can do the practice listening examination with someone thousands of miles away from you just by the power of the internet. So the internet is there to help you and serve you.
Yeah, technology can be extremely helpful. And as Alex said, of course, the community, I think, is just an enormous benefit, and something that I really haven't seen anywhere else on the internet. So this kind of IELTS community. I can tell you from years and years of working with nurses, I'm often in awe of the caring disposition and the amazing way that so many of you go out of your way to care for so many of your patients. And as Alex said, yes, this is the opportunity to help each other. But don't forget also is that if you prefer to work on your own and you feel like you are the kind of person who would benefit more from working on your own, and that works for you, that's also okay. It doesn't mean to say that you have to work with a study partner or that you have to participate in the community. Just one thing to remind everybody about, we spoke about last week about Monday motivations, and Friday wins. And I don't know if everybody's forgotten, but we haven't had a lot of activity on that. So I just want to remind everybody, because I think that can fit in really nicely with what Alex is saying. The Monday motivations is that on a Monday, you're going to be setting out with your study partner, or on your own, if that's what you decide, to what is your plan for the week, and to actually note it down, because there's a lot of research that says that if you write it down, or if you type it out, it's going to have much more impact. And then at the end of the week, everybody in the community is watching to see what the Friday win is. So I want to just remind everybody to make use of that tool, Monday motivations and Friday wins. So we're going to be looking for your Monday motivations, everybody. Please make sure to include that into the Facebook Live, into the Facebook group, because I think that will be extremely helpful as well. Are we almost?
Absolutely. Almost out of time, Tanya. I've got a few questions that have come through from some of our nurses. I just wanted to refer to them. Lots of people have shared the video. Thank you very much, because when you share the video, you'll get access to your free IELTS welcome pack with lots of video lessons, resources. So Marsha's done that, Miguel's done that, John Albert's done that, Jehan's done that, Villanova's done that. Villanova's actually asked a good question. He or she, I think it's a she, how many hours per day should we study? It's a very difficult question to answer, that, Villanova, because as I think I gave this example a few weeks ago, you have two situations. You have situation A, where you prepare for 7 hours on a Sunday, but Monday to Saturday you do nothing, okay? Because maybe Sunday's your day off. So you think, okay, I want to do from morning to evening, study reading, writing, listening, speaking through the whole day. Situation B is you decide, I want to do it 7 days in a row, 1 hour per day, 1 hour on Monday, 1 hour on Tuesday, and so forth. Which situation do you think is better, Villanova? Situation A or situation B? Okay, situation A, situation B, let me know in the chat box. If anyone else wants to tell me which they think is the most, which is the best way as well of preparing, then please let me know. But it's difficult. I'll reveal what I think is the answer in a minute, what I know is the best way in a minute. We've got other people, Cheryl saying hi, Chrismina, and Sigwa says I've shared the live class page. Mia, okay, Obian Nuju said, please, how can I improve my reading? With regards to reading tips, I mean, there's so many things I could say, but the first thing I would say right now is don't just rely on the IELTS examination materials that you see online. A lot of students who don't get high scores in reading, they just focus on the IELTS materials. You should be expanding your depth and breadth of reading in other areas. So looking at the, I would say the BBC in the UK is a fantastic website for reading about different articles, and really keeping up with current affairs, whether it's government, whether it's politics, whether it's education, obesity, nutrition, sports, hobbies, all those kinds of things, because you don't know what kind of task 2 question you are going to expect in the writing part. I'm getting confused with writing. You don't know what kind of text you can expect in the reading. So it could be on any kind of subject. So it's so important for you to have a good grasp of current affairs. So yeah, the BBC is a good one. The Guardian, some of the websites in the US, some of the news websites like CNN, all of those kinds, NBC. And is NBC, is that a news article website? Wall Street Journal, New York Times, all of these are really, really good websites. TED also is more of a video website, TED Talks, but you can actually read the transcripts. So it's just improving your reading skills in all areas and trying to go through and skim and scan and use your reading skills. Skimming skills, scanning skills are really important. Try to find what is the objective of this article, what is the writer trying to say, who is the writer writing to, etc., etc. Hopefully that was helpful to you. And Sigwa has answered my question. Section B is the best. Sorry, situation B is the best to practice 1 hour a day, every day per week. Correct answer. The reason why is because you're consistently doing practice every day. Your brain can only take in so much information. So if you're constantly doing an hour per day, and also you're reviewing material that you learned the previous day, you're more likely to remember it, because I've seen studies that say that if you learn something, the next day, you've forgotten 80% of what you learned the day before.
Wow.
80%. So you have to review what you learned the previous day. Otherwise, it's gone. So if you learn those, if you practice for 7 hours, and my maths isn't that brilliant, but hopefully for nurses and your medication dosages, you would have a better handle on maths than me. But 80% of those 7 hours would be gone completely. Okay, so you must review And that's why it's the beauty of doing 1 hour a day, 7 days a week. The other thing is 7 hours a day is not sustainable. It's difficult to manage, do that every single week, because you get bored, you get frustrated. You know, IELTS is not the most exciting thing in the world that you could be doing. There's lots of other things I'm sure you prefer doing in your time. So that is the correct answer. Well done, Nsigwa. We're pretty much out of time, Tanya.
I can't believe it, Alex. Time flies.
So quickly. Time flies.
But I think some very valuable and important tips, also good reinforcement. I also want to encourage, I was just thinking as you were talking, there's so many very good tips and pointers that have been posted into the Facebook group by Jocelyn over the last few weeks. So please, if you are new to the group, make sure to go back into the news feed and find those tips and pointers, because there's a lot of free practice study materials that are in the group that you might have missed, that you can catch up on, and that you can, as Alex says, continually practice, because that's something new. I didn't realize that according to the research, so much of what you study is gone by the next day. And there's a lot of material in the group that you can use to, you know, to practice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Tanya, I've just posted the Facebook group link into the chat box. So Angie, are you part of the group? And Sigwa, Naz, Obianju, Cheryl, Chrismina, Mia, I want you all in that Facebook group, because that's where you're going to get a study partner. That's where you're going to get lots of video lessons and tips and help from us. Remember, be part of a community, have a study partner, and you will see your performance in the IELTS exam go through the roof. Okay, so we've got lots of fantastic resources for you in that group. But if you stay on your own, then it could be difficult for you. We don't want you to stay on your own. We want you to pass this IELTS exam quickly and effectively, and in the least amount of exam attempts. Pass your NCLEX exam if you've not passed that already, and then Tanya has got thousands of jobs.
Thousands of jobs, really, and literally growing every day.
Thousands.
Literally growing every day, every single day. I can tell you the last week has been quite amazing. Every single day, almost, I spend my time speaking to CEOs and CNOs who are all in the same boat. They're not, obviously, you know, international recruitment is not ever going to take over recruitment of American nurses for them.
Oh, Tanya, we've lost you there for. Oh, we lost your video. Oh, you're back. Yeah.
All of them are looking at a way to supplement their recruitment of American nurses and create a pipeline of international nurses. The other thing that I just wanted to mention, and this is very important for anybody who wants to come to the US, this week there was also, on July 13th, there was a new regulation that came into that was posted by the USCIS, that when we file a new green card, there will no longer, the officers basically have the discretion to deny or approve the cases, and they will no longer be issuing requests for further evidence or notice of intent to deny. And that is a very big change. On September 11th, which was this week, this came into effect. So that means that technically, even though you don't need the visa screen until you get to the consulate interview, 90% of the hospitals, in fact, all hospitals who are in the know that now they are going to be including the visa screen when they file the cases. Sorry, I'm getting a call. When they file the cases. So that will be something that we need to make sure that we file going forward. So it's important to have the IELTS before you actually, before you file the cases and get your visa screen. So thank you so much, Alex. That was a great session, a lot of great information shared, and we look forward to speaking to you next week.
Thank you very much, Tanya, and make sure you all share this live class video to your Facebook page, and then you'll get access to our free IELTS welcome pack. If you want more of our free resources, make sure you go to swooshenglish.com. And last thing, and I put that in the Facebook group, the last thing, join the Facebook group community. That's where you can get intensive support from Kinetics and from Swoosh. So thank you very much for being part of today's session. Thank you very much for being active, and we look forward to helping you on your journey to becoming a US nurse.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex. We'll see you next
Thank you,
week.
Tanya. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.